And I like to call these fears superficial because they are. They're not life-endangering, they're not life-threatening, they're only in our minds. There isn't any physical happening to us, it's only in our minds that we think what-if thoughts. When you feel fear, when your hands are all sweaty and your heart is pounding and your stomach is spinning, you're doing something right. You have to feel some kind of fear before taking a big leap. But the fear has to be mixed with excitement. So obviously I'm not talking about running away from a chasing lion. I'm talking about the fear you're going to feel before signing up to your first marathon, before starting your own YouTube channel, before quitting your job, or booking your first flight as a solo traveler. It's often a thing you've been thinking about for ages but haven't acted on yet. Because maybe you're afraid of what others might think of you, your income, you're afraid of the future, the list goes on and on and on. All of these fears are stopping us from making a decision that could possibly be life-changing for you. This could be your life's biggest transformation, but you're being held back. We're so caught up in looking at the negative side of things. What if everything goes to hell? What if it was worth nothing? What if I don't get any success by doing it? Let me ask you something. When have you ever talked to someone about your dreams and the first thing out of their mouth is, what if you succeeded? Imagine your life if you actually accomplished that. Have you ever had a conversation with a person like that? Most people would probably say no, because the minute they flash something a bit out of the ordinary, people are like, I don't think you can accomplish that. I don't think you're gonna achieve any success by doing that. And so just by hearing that, we can get sucked back into ordinary, into mainstream, into being mediocre. But we really want something else. Fear of these things are superficial, and it's these things that are keeping us stuck. We have to remember that fear is actually our friend. Fear is here to protect us. The only thing is that today, there is really nothing to be protected from. We all have roofs over our head. We all have a full fridge. We all have a bed to sleep in. We all have clothes to wear. So what is there really to be protected from? Back in the really old days, I mean like really old days, people are being chased by lions. Like, fair. It's okay to fear that. Like, I wouldn't be eaten by a lion. I wouldn't prefer that. But there were actually things to be afraid of. And it seems like our brains haven't really, they have developed, but they haven't developed in the fear sense. Fear didn't go away. It just started to fear other things. Today, we fear what others might think of us. We fear not being good enough, aka imposter syndrome. We fear not getting everyone's approval before taking the big leap. We fear not being as good as someone in their chapter 135 when we're still in chapter 1. And I like to call these fears superficial because they are. They're not life-endangering, they're not life-threatening, they're only in our minds. There isn't any physical happening to us, it's only in our minds that we think what-if thoughts. And if you never give your dreams a chance, if you never try it out, you will always end up with the what-if thoughts. And not to be dramatic or anything, but what do you think you're gonna regret more when you're laying on your deathbed? Is it that people once laughed at you for trying out that thing you've been dreaming of? Or is it actually not have tried out your dream that you're probably still thinking of? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Where's my manners? Wanting more in our lives or supernatural. Humans are like this. Our souls are calling for more. The reverse side of that is that fear is also really natural. It's a thing every human experiences and it never stops. You will always experience fear. The key is to know how to handle fear. So whenever your soul is calling out for more, you will immediately have fear stopping you, asking you, do you think this is a good idea? What do you think your best friend is going to say? What will your mom say? What about your old great cousin? How will she like this idea? And then take a step back, ask the fear, what if I succeeded? How would my life look like? if I actually succeeded with this idea. If you don't act on your dreams, if you don't take that first leap, this means you're confining your soul, you're tucking it away some really dark place, and this means never releasing your full potential. Listen, you clicked on this video because you know that being afraid, being fearful, it's over now. Honey, it's over. We gotta move past that. It's time to jump, because I know you have the urge to grow. And the thing is that breaking through fear not only will make you grow, it will force you to grow. Listen, when I started my first TikTok account, which by the way doesn't exist anymore, I was so afraid of posting that first video, because that meant putting me out there in front of my friends, in front of the possible world, to judge me. What I knew about the internet is that it was an ugly place and people were telling each other really nasty things, and like people were just so mean. Then I figured out that's mostly just on Facebook, and it's our parents who doesn't know how to behave. I walked around posting that first video for weeks, and when I finally clicked post, I physically threw my phone away because I was like so incredibly nervous of how my friends and how everyone would receive that video. When it was time for me to post my second TikTok video, I wasn't afraid at all. I posted it without a second thought, and on it went. Then I moved to YouTube. Let me tell you, it was the same turbulent ride, okay? I walked around my first video for weeks, not daring to uploading it. I was so afraid because I was comparing my journey to people who had been on the journey for 5 years. I was seeking approval for everyone around me, which basically just made the journey so much longer before I had the courage to post it. But when I did post it, and when the second video came around, that wasn't scary at all. What's funny about fear is that it's only in our minds, because naturally we don't know what's on the other side. I didn't know what was gonna happen when I posted that first video, but when I did, I figured out it wasn't scary at all. The more you're getting out of your comfort zone, the more your comfort zone will expand. It's really important to know that what gets you here won't get you there. You always have to break through that wall of fear. It's an ongoing process, but the more you do it, the better you'll become at doing it. Being afraid of jumping into the unknown, or being afraid of taking the leap or trying out that new thing, makes your thoughts control you. And that is not a good place to be. That's dangerous to be in, because your soul will never expand to your fullest potential. Bad bitches control their thoughts, not the other way around. And I for sure hope that the fire beneath your ass is starting to getting lit up, because there's nothing to be afraid of. And you absolutely deserve the success coming your way after you take the jump, because there will be success coming your way, because it will force you to grow. So whenever you feel fear going forward, just stop and tell your fear, I hear you, I see you, but I choose not to listen to you, because I know myself, I believe in myself, and I have the courage to go through with this. And then do it. Send that email. Break the plan into teeny tiny steps that you can't help but act on them, because they're so easy to do. You can take the first step and watch your fear disappear completely. At least that one time, because as we know, fear is a lifelong partner. It's gonna be there all the time, and that's a good thing. But we have to set a firm boundary with our fear when we haven't invited it in. Trust that you can get super successful by putting fear in its place. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you haven't already, please like to this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.